So a lot of people say that the opposite of shame is vulnerability, and that's wrong. Vulnerability is the opposite of hiding, but that's hiding is not shame. Hiding is something we do because of shame. So if you choose not to hide something because you are tired of hiding it and you share it in a vulnerable way, you have not necessarily diminished your own sense of shame around it. But a lot of people are taught and therefore believe that the way to end their shame around something is to reveal it to the world or share it to other people. Now, if you share it with a group of people who are very understanding and you know that, well, you've created a space of safety before you were able to share. So it's very conditional. This is still you trying to control the outside world, therefore trying to create a self-constructed space where you can hide your secrets amongst others. This is still this form of vulnerability. Conditional vulnerability is not vulnerability. And so people get stuck thinking if I get on social media and talk about all my problems, that this is going to lower my shame. And this is going to make me feel more confident. And I'm going to care less what other people think because I'll air out all my secrets. Sometimes people are able to do that. And the exposure of that, the certain exposure therapy of like, wow, I just told the world my deepest, darkest secret, and then I didn't die. And then the sun came up the next day and nothing changed. That can sometimes break the spell that shame has over people. But more often than not, when we're being vulnerable, we're tricking ourselves into thinking we're being vulnerable, or we are setting ourselves up for an inevitable return and a quick and speedy return back to hiding when this does not go well. So pure vulnerability, where you really are just letting people see you do things that you know are going to make them mad, is often an attention-seeking behavior, right? This is trolling. When people do awful things in your face because they want you to see them doing it, because they want to see you get mad, because it gives them a perverse pleasure, because for them, this is attention. And they have such a deep-seated need of attention that they're willing to get it in a fundamentally negative way because that's better than nothing, right? So their crimes are not really about them enjoying the crime so much as enjoying the attention they get from others. Also, this could be a signal of a personality disorder where this person literally does not care what other people think of them, because in their mind, their brain is very good at convincing them that they're more important than other people, and therefore they need the berries. It has to be this way. A true sociopath, here's what's really terrifying about sociopaths. It's not that they don't care what these people think. It's not that they don't love these people. Sociopaths love others. They can care what others think. It's just that when it comes down to it, they will take the berries and think that what they've done is the right thing. That's the scary thing about sociopaths, is that they feel like they're right. They feel like they've done the right thing. You know, when you get into people committing heinous crimes that they know are wrong, but they're doing it because it gives them some perverse pleasure, that's, psychopathy. But antisocial personality disorder, being a sociopath, often does not look like that. Your everyday sociopath is just very good at rationalizing and convincing themselves that what they're doing has to be that way. And that's what makes them so hard to communicate with. You can't get through to them. This is why it's a personality disorder. So a lot of times people who are being vulnerable, especially when they're doing it publicly, it's because they have an underdeveloped sense of community and an underdeveloped sense of the value of the needs of other people, or they're doing attention-seeking behavior. Then there's people who talk about, not giving a fuck anymore, or I'm not hurting anyone else, so who cares, right? Really, these are fronts. A lot of times people are just lying to themselves that they don't give a fuck because they're trying to convince themselves that they don't, even though they do. And so they say this a lot, and they even try to act in alignment with that to prove to themselves that they don't care, because deeply they do care very much. And oftentimes this just becomes an excuse for more hiding. And what we say with our words is not necessarily what we do with our actions. And so psychologically, these can keep us in a situation where we're really just hiding from the group and we're making it sound cool. We're making our hiding sound more badass. Or then there's, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what people think of me, which we've all heard people say that. And what they're really saying is, I assume people aren't going to like me, and therefore I'll hate them first and more. And therefore I won't need their approval because I hate them so much. And that's a way to leverage their own anger as a way to create self-preservation. And again, they're just using their own anger as a shield. Either way, whether it's using the anger of the group or using some sort of mental device or using your own anger, what you've done is create a barrier. And you're actively contributing to the barrier between you and others. What you deeply want is to be friends with everyone, right? What most people, unless you have a personality disorder, what you deeply want is to be loved and to be cared for, and for people to, walk into danger to help you when you fall on hard times. And you want to be able to do that for other people. This is what a fully developed human being will gravitate toward, and will create these barriers, often not because this is the reality, that we are truly separated from these people, that we are truly not welcome, but it's a projection of the barriers that we've erected inside of our own mind because of this public-private divide that has infested our own brain.